G'day again YouTube. Just doing a quick update on my 1989 Volvo B10M MK2, which was previously operated by Transdev as their Bus 5561, and before that was Veolia Bus 94. In the last video it didn't have any seats or anything in it, but now it's been New South Wales mod plated for the seats and had a bit of work done to it. So I'll start with the driver's area. It's now got a functioning rear view camera, so the camera at the back, which is a bit hard to see there once I put the shade down. So it pulls out the back, so that bottom line that you can just see in the corners is the rear bumper, and from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen it's 1.9 meters. It's not the best, but it covers the blind spot from what you normally can't see on the mirrors, because the rear view mirror is not exactly the best. And also, since it's a dual camera system, also mounted one up the top above the desto, so I got a view straight down the front of the bus as well, which then covers what you can't see behind the dash when you're actually in the driver's seat. So there's that, and it's hooked up to its master switch down there. But while we're here, I also added a voltmeter in the on a spare base on the cluster, and installed a fuel gauge because I didn't have one when I bought it. I'm just waiting on a new sender unit to come from Volvo. That way I can install it into the tank and then have a working fuel gauge. And of course it's got the ZF4HP, hang on, it's a ZF4HP500 auto gearbox, and instead of having all the white marker everywhere, I've gone around with a dyno label maker and redone them all. And I've also installed a cigarette lighter, so that way I can have my phone cradle and charger, and my square FPOS car reader mounted there so I can take FPOS payments, and a 24 volt stereo. All my switches and that are pretty much as normal, except for the school lights, which I've taken out, which I won't need. And I've repurposed the desto switch and power, which was still connected but hasn't had the desto connected to it, so I've hooked up to LED downlights, so that way I've turned it into like a driver's locker with like an esky, some air fresheners for the bus, first aid certificate, first aid thing, move the CCTV there, and a few other bits and bobs in there as a driver locker, as well as mount another camera there for the CCTV to act as a dash cam, as well as another one there, plus two others which I'm yet to install on the bus. Typical driver's fan, and going for a bit of a cool vibe like what Hog's Breath Cafe do, like with the different memorabilia stuff and that, and first aid sticker and fire extinguisher location, and various other stickers that I've had around. But the main bit is it's now got seats. It's up front where this original seat was. It's been removed because the actual seat was, the legs were in line with the back of the esky, and your face was pretty much there with the perspex, so I put the esky there. And instead of it being in compliance as a 58 seater, so 57 passengers and one driver. It's now compliant as a 55 passenger and one driver, so 56 seat instead of 58. And I've got the stuff there for the driver, like the high vis, jacket and portable speaker, and some bits and bobs like hand wipes, sanitizer and all that. And use the original seats. That one's not, the base isn't mounted in that one at the moment because I was under it earlier. And a couple of the original seats from when I was with Transdev, and then the rest are all aftermarket. They're the same sort of style but slightly different. So instead of having a single leg in the middle like that one, they're dual leg, but mostly identical for the frames and slightly narrower, but they'll do. But for the price, I got all the seats for $50, so can't complain. And they've been compliant to suit this bus, so. And so having them all forward facing, I thought I'd do 2 sections like that, so that way it's the communal seats, and then obviously engine bay underneath. And most of them, the rest of the rows are just normal forward facing, and another communal section at the back using 2 of the original blue seats, then the green, and then the original blue back seat. And eventually, before I actually go to registration, I'll actually be using some laminate paint and going over the back of the seats to get rid of the wood grain. I'll probably be painting them like black or blue to match the walls, but most likely black, so that way it ties into the floor, so that way sort of it's not as dated, where the wood grain looks a bit old at the moment. So I'll probably do the black just to bring them up, freshen them up a bit. And typical luggage racks, only 3 of the speakers work, so all 6 of those speakers will be replaced. Emergency exits are good, they're the hatch type, so they open for some fresh air, both sides, as well as being emergency exits. And the roof lights have been converted from standard incandescents to LED light strips, so they're all 2 of them up at the moment, but that's what they used to look like, that sort of yellowish, horrible looking. But then they've been done to that, which freshens them up a bit. I'm still in the process of putting all the speaker wiring in that back in, because the original wiring didn't work. But overall, it's been freshened up majorly. It's not far off from being registered, and as well as in between the front and rear facing seats, I put a couple of the old car wash tubs, like they're from a car wash, they're the old chemical ones for like car wash. So at the front I've got one for return and earn and one for rubbish, and same at the back I've got one for rubbish and one for recycling. And the typical next stop cord still works, but I've got the button turned off at the moment, but it does indeed work. So if I just flick you on, it indeed works. But I'm going to keep it mostly off because we'll be using the bus for, they'll be pulling it every 5 seconds. So that's pretty much a bus so far, and it'll be put back into service with my business that I've got, and I'll be using it for like sports clubs, pub crawls, bucks and hens nights, and like cruise and airport transfers and all that, because I've still got the boot in the back, so it will be used for another few years yet. And at the time of this recording, the bus has don't know if you can read that, but 678,000 K. So it's 678,997 kilometres. And the door works a charm on here. Might as well do the door. Still works the charm because the switch is there. Originally, that switch was broken originally, so I've replaced it and works the charm. Just needs a bit of grease on it because it's a bit squeaky. And the only thing I haven't worked out on it is that switch yet, because it sits in the middle. Not sure what it does, but every time you push the down button from that front left wheel, it sounds like it's dropping air, like a little whoosh. Not sure if you'll be able to, if I turn the fan off, you might be able to hear it. So it does a little sort of sound. So I'm not sure what that is, but I'm guessing it's a self-leveling kneeling type feature. And one of the other small jobs is to fix the tacho because it doesn't work, but everything else does. And the bus sounds healthy. So it's just a quick update of the bus, and hopefully it should be on the road within the next couple of months and earning its keep. So that's just a quick update, and I hope you enjoy.